we're just building momentum, and even in the games in Pittsburgh and Cleveland, like a lot of balls hit hard, a lot of great at bats, just things just weren't going our way. But yeah, we're starting to see the results come through, and we know our process. We know everything we're doing is going to lead to wins. So I think you're just now seeing the results, and it's cool to see a lot of guys are working super hard behind the scenes. A lot of guys are staying committed to their plan.
Welcome back. Ultimate Seattle Sports Show. Mariners going for the sweep today against the Angels. Colt Emerson, you just heard him there. 3 hits on Tuesday. He's looking good. Mariners had a Wednesday off because of the World Cup. Bryce Miller gets the start today. Ariel, you chatted with Bryce when we go back to spring training. He dealt with injuries from last season. He's dealt with injuries this season. But when he's healthy and on the mound, he has looked sensational.
Yeah, it's funny you talked about how I talked to him during spring training, because that was actually the number one thing he said, was that he felt great, he felt healthy, and because of that, then he felt confident. Obviously, he dealt with the completely different oblique strain, but he feels really good about where his body is right now. And he's been the most consistent pitcher they've had this year. Even in his loss last week, struck out 11, just gave up 2 home runs. That's really the only way guys are beating him these days, are with those long balls. And he's just been trusting his stuff. And like I said, that confidence just pays off. Yeah,
it's funny that you mentioned that. He, even in that loss, it was the Pittsburgh game where I think he gave up 3 runs, and I was like concerned. And it was Bill Kruger that said, he's human. He's going to give up a couple runs, okay? Just take it easy on him. And sure enough, I look at his stats, and his ERA currently 1.97. That is absolutely amazing for a starting pitcher right now. And yes, our Mariners insider Bill Kruger, like Ariel, he's been very impressed about Bryce Miller.
I mean, he's been unhittable is what he's been. He's been so exciting to watch. Fastball velo up and all the touch on his off-speed pitches. I can't wait to watch him again tomorrow.
Why has he been so good? I mean, he's been phenomenal.
Well, I think there's a little bit of an edge. Last year, he was injured. He was fighting through injury. He never really realized what he had done the previous year, where he had a 2.94 ERA, 30 starts. I mean, he was one of the best in baseball. And last year, the injuries really stole that from him. And he rediscovered himself. He put on weight. He came to spring training. Then he got hurt again. And then when he comes back, he got put into a little bit of a crazy situation. He's been really putting his foot on the gas and saying, I'm an elite pitcher. I need the ball, and I can go out and pitch better than anybody on this staff. And he's proved it so far. He's been absolutely outstanding.
Look at Bill with the suit on. You have the suit on. Did you even go home last night and change?
That's, you know how it works. I mean, you're working these long days. We're all working long days.
Meanwhile, I'm the schlub over here just hanging out in the chair. We've got you. You look like you're in a penguin suit. You're ready for the black tie gala later.
Sometimes you just fall asleep. And, sometimes these suit pants without a tie, you can get in anywhere.
You sure
can.
Go
from McDonald's to a steakhouse. It works.
Oscar Wilde said you can never be undereducated or overdressed. So there you go.
Deep thoughts with Ariel Arsudo. Oscar Wilde on the stand. You bring so much insight. I think I learned more about eggs and hot dogs more than anything on this day.
Yeah, don't take my literary advice. Take my food advice and try hot dog and egg.
But you also at spring training saw some young guns, and we're seeing them rise in front of us right now, that being Cole Young and Colt Emerson. Colt Emerson has had some big hits lately. He has played great at short. Cole Young also been hot with the bat over his last 7 games. Cole Young batting .346 with a .370 on-base percentage. He leads the team right now in RBI. Ariel, these two have been very fun to watch. I got to tell you what, we talk about these young pop stars. I don't know who's marrying who, but
clearly I don't either.
you don't either, but let's be. Colt Emerson is 20.
Yeah, he's not even old enough to have a beer, and he's being one of the most productive players on the field, especially in the field at shortstop. But you talked about spring training. I did talk to both of them during spring training, and Cole Young, he kind of brushed off any problems that he had last year, saying, I wasn't healthy, it was this, it was that. And he kind of he came in with a quiet confidence into spring training, and he has been one of their best players. He's having a breakout year at only 22 years old, Chris.
Yeah, I mean, it has been amazing to watch him play. And I think maybe what gets lost is, you and I, we do the highlights every night, but these two, what they're doing at shortstop and second base has been phenomenal.
Yeah, it's like an A-Rod Jeter situation is what you can obviously hope for it to be. For they're there together for the future, and these two young guys just kind of growing together, learning together. And let's be really clear here. Cole Young had to learn second base this year in the offseason. During spring training, he worked every single day with the coach, Bones, and he was out there every day getting better and better. And he has been one of the most impressive fielders for this team.
And with that said, I think Cole Emerson also went into this season thinking he was mainly going to be playing third base. Primarily shortstop is his position. So it's nothing new to him, but he began this season thinking he was going to be a third baseman. He's transitioned nicely back to his main spot, that being shortstop, and give a lot of credit to J.P. Crawford and what he's doing at third. Now, Bill Kruger, he's watched a lot of Mariner players over the years. Like you, Ariel, he's been impressed how Cole Young went from last year to this year, and here's Bill's thoughts on Cole.
I don't know that I've seen a player improve as much as he has from year one to year two. It's been mighty impressive because last year, he showed power. He struggled with his throwing. He wasn't sure with his hands. It was hard to say who is this player. And this year, everything is better. He's been a brilliant defender, maybe the best defender in the league at second base. And offensively, he can handle anything. Lefties, righties, breaking balls away. You try to mess around with him on the inner half, he'll hit one out of the ballpark. He drove two out the other night. So, and he's got that cool, calm, and collective demeanor. I just think he's special. The Mariners have really found themselves a second baseman for a long time, and he's got the aptitude. He's going to continue to get better and better. He's going to be a power-hitting second baseman with all the skills you'd love to have at that position.
And as a former major league pitcher, you can't get too high, you can't get too low. What I love about Cole Young is if the ninth inning's 2 outs, he seems like he's approaching that at bat like he does maybe a second inning at bat. I mean, he is clutch right now for this team.
The modern day statistical people make it out that RBIs are random. I don't believe that. I think RBIs talk about how clutch you are, which is what you're referencing. He's leading this team in RBIs with some pretty good RBI guys on this team. That tells you something about his ability to come up and deliver in the big moments.
All right, Ariel having some fun with my outfits. Guys, wearing it 2 days in a row, right?
Hey,
tell everybody, you never wear an outfit 2 days in a row.
No, so first of all, yeah, you're right. Jimmy Kimmel actually is famous for wearing the exact same look every single night. It's black suit, white shirt, black tie, so that no one can ever comment on whether he's wearing the exact same things or not. No, I wouldn't be caught dead wearing the same thing twice. I, in fact, keep an index card in my jacket pockets to write, what I wore with it, what date it was, what I did that day. And I have about a 1 month rule before I return to it.
So you'll put tonight a little note card in this outfit saying wore it on Thursday.
With blue Uniqlo shirt. Like it'll have a lot of details, and then I was on this show, and then it will not return for at least a month.
We're learning a lot today. All right, tonight, Mariners,
about
Angels.
my OCD?
Yes, I'm fine with it. M's and Angels wrapping up their series. On Friday, the Blue Jays come to town, and you can watch that game on the Big 5, King 5. Pregame show gets rolling at 6:30. Ariel, Blue Jays fans, whether you like it or not, they are going to pack T-Mobile Park. They're not having their best season, but this is going to be a fun series. They
always pack the park. They always take over T-Mobile Park. And I actually didn't know last year was my first July 4th weekend, which is when they were here again. And I didn't know about the Blue Jays taking over until last year when the house next door to mine was an Airbnb, and all of a sudden there's a bunch of Canadians in Blue Jays shirts coming in and out for the whole weekend. And I was like, oh, okay, this is a thing.
Yeah, it's a thing. And you know what? I know Mariner fans have been better over the last few years on trying to make sure that the Blue Jays don't take over T-Mobile Park. I know this. Those 3 games are going to be absolutely packed. Friday night, the game on King 5, fireworks night. Saturday, it's special 4th of July bucket hat night. And on Sunday, the kid's going to run the field. First
things first, though, you have to beat the Angels tonight to keep to sweep.
I know, we're looking ahead,
and that's fair. I mean, we should be looking ahead because there's really not much to say about the Angels. But you have to win this game tonight. I think that less than a sweep is going to bring up some even more questions.
100% agree, especially with Bryce on the mound.